Hello, welcome to another video from EarnPed.com. I'm Stevie B, happy to have you with me today. Today we're actually going to take a break from talking about Cyrene. I'm currently on SyreneDream.org, but today we're going to take a break from talking about Cyrene, and we're going to talk about the new area Aris, which is a new moon just outside of the gravitational pull of Planet Calypso. And I know a lot of you have been wanting to know my thoughts on Aris. I know a lot of you have been wanting to have more information on Aris. So we're going to get right to it. But instead of going into the game today, we're actually going to head over to YouTube. And the reason we're going to do this is because I want you guys to have the best information possibly available. So first of all, let me run you guys through a few resources, and then I will also give you guys some more information from my end on Aris. So first of all, before we start talking about Aris, this is a YouTube channel I want you guys to check out if you have not checked it out already. Blade of A.R.I.S. A.K.I.R.E. Blade of A.R.I.S. And I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. But a great guy, great player, longtime player of Entropia, and this is his YouTube channel. And he has actually made some absolutely amazing videos on the subject of A.R.I.S. And they're videos that I will probably make a version of myself later on. But I want you guys to have these resources now. And if somebody's made a really good quality video, I want you guys to know about it. And he's made several. So he's got one here getting started on A.R.I.S., going up to A.R.I.S., A.R.I.S. teleporter run. That's going to be an important one. What's happening on A.R.I.S., and this is a really, really important one right here. The A.R.I.S. robot instances and maintenance tunnels. So he actually shows you how to get around A.R.I.S. via the maintenance tunnels and go to the different robot instances. And this reminds me a lot, and I think it might be the exact setup of the old robot beacons that we used to have. And then over here he's got one A.R.I.S. cave instances. So some really, really good A.R.I.S. based videos here, especially if you're wanting to get started going to A.R.I.S., getting the teleporters, figuring out how to get through the robot maintenance tunnels to all the different instances, and learning about the caves. So very, very, very good information here you guys should definitely check out. And if you want to check out his Twitch, he also has a Twitch. I'm going to take you over there. Same name, Blade of A.R.I.S., A.K.I.R.E., but no spaces. Blade of A.R.I.S. And of course, same symbol, all that good stuff. So you can find him on Twitch too. Now, in addition to Blade's videos that he's made, my good buddy Fatty has made some videos on the subject of A.R.I.S., so I want to just pinpoint one of those for you guys. This one right here is one of my favorites, 100 Ways to Die on A.R.I.S. This is a really, really good one that he has. And then he's got some down here, Update on A.R.I.S. Part 2, Magic Mushrooms, and Update on A.R.I.S. New Player-Friendly Mobs. This is one that if you guys are low-level, mid-level, free-to-play, or low-depot players, you're definitely going to want to check out this video right here that Fatty has, Update on A.R.I.S. Newer Player-Friendly Mobs. So Fatty's got some really good A.R.I.S. related content as well. You can find him here on YouTube at Thaddeus Thorson, Fatteus space Thorson, Thorson. And you can also find Fatty on Twitch. I've got him pulled up here for you. On Twitch, he's Fatty Prophet, Fatty, Prophet as in biblical prophet, Prophet. And Fatty also does streams not just about Entropia Universe, but he's got some streams that he does about creative writing and stuff like that, and all kinds of good stuff. There's all kinds of good giveaways and all kinds of cool races that he does. Fatty really tries to keep it interesting when it comes to the Twitch side of things. So very, very good place to go to just socialize with other like-minded Entropia players and have a little bit of fun that isn't necessarily related to Entropia too. So I wanted to give you guys these resources because Fatty's done a really, really good job of looking at A.R.I.S. from the eyes of a mid-level player who is more free to play than not, who is really interested in seeing Mindark put out a lot of new player-friendly content and a lot of lower-level mobs that low-level, newer, and mid-level players can really have some fun with. And Fatty's done a really good job of looking at A.R.I.S. through that lens. And Blade's done a really good job of looking at A.R.I.S. through more of the higher-level player kind of lens. Somebody who would go in and go through the robot tunnels every day and do the robot instances via the maintenance tunnels and go in the caves and do those instances. So you can kind of get two different versions. Are you wanting to see things through the eyes of a more high, mid to high level player? You're probably going to be more interested in Blade's videos. Are you going to be more interested in finding out information about A.R.I.S through the eyes of somebody who's got more of a focus on lower level, free to play or low depot players? You're probably going to be more into fatty stuff. But great content on both sides, both on YouTube and on Twitch. So I wanted to give a huge shout out to Fatty, and I wanted to give a huge shout out to Blade for making such amazing content. Now, personally, my thoughts on A.R.I.S, I have not yet checked it out, and let me explain why. So first of all, I try and keep the goals that I'm focusing on to a minimum. 3 to 5 max. That's what my in-game goals need to be at all times, because I want to actually accomplish those goals instead of having 1,000 goals that nothing's getting accomplished. So for me, I am right now focusing heavily on Planet Calypso. And when they first came out with A.R.I.S, like I said, it's a moon just outside the gravitational pull of Calypso. You can actually get there from the Calypso space station. It's very close to like Crystal Palace and Foma, all that stuff right there. And I heard right away a couple of things. First of all, that this is supposed to be, according to the lore, the area where all the robots that have always giving us problems on Calypso, like this is either like their base or their headquarters or an area they decided to operate from. And because of that, it's got a heavy focus on robots, and very high-level robots at that. And as we know from our looter professions, we've got 3 different looter professions: animal, mutant, and robot tends to lag pretty severely behind other looters. So since looter has a direct correlation to our returns, and since it's not meeting any of my immediate goals, why would I intentionally go somewhere to explore where I know right off the bat I'm probably going to be getting worse returns? Because it would be using robot looter the majority of the time. Now, as Fatty has pointed out, there are a lot of lower and mid-level mobs on A.R.I.S that are essentially reskin Calypso mobs with new names, new codex, stuff like that, new look, and maybe I could focus on those. But from a higher level gameplay standard, which Blade covered, yeah, a lot of it really is higher level robot focused. So because of that, it just really wasn't a draw to me. And in addition, there's a couple of things that you've probably heard by now, that, you know, you can't use flying vehicles on A.R.I.S, you can't use teleportation ships on A.R.I.S, the water is toxic in a lot, if not all areas, meaning if you get in it, you're just going to die, you can't really swim. So it's got a lot of different mechanics that are still being worked out, a lot of different things that are still being developed and, you know, fine-tuned a little bit. So me personally, I was like, I'm just going to focus on my current in-game goals on Cyrene and Next Island and some of the other planets, and then as A.R.I.S gets more fully developed, then at some point there might be something worth going there and checking out for me. But as of right now, for me personally, I just haven't felt the need to go check it out, and especially when there's such great information from people like Blade, from people like Fatty, that are covering this in really unique and really good ways to give you guys a lot of the information that I can't make a video on every single subject on every single planet instantly. I just can't do it. Hopefully someday I will have this channel to the point where I've covered literally everything you can possibly cover in Entropia, but there's just so much content. That's why I say you have to kind of focus on a couple of goals. So these are great resources for you, but now what are my thoughts on A.R.I.S in addition to what we've already talked about? Well, there are a couple of good things, and I know the one that most people are excited about is the armor. And I don't know if Blade's made any videos on the armor. I don't know if Fatty's made any videos on the armor. But let me kind of explain the armor thing to you for a minute. So essentially with the armor thing, there's a new set of armor on A.R.I.S, and you can upgrade it like we do all of our other upgrades: adjusted, improved, modified, augmented, perfected. And it's called the Hyperion Armor. Hyperion, I guess, is like a faction on A.R.I.S. I haven't really delved into the lore that much. So essentially you get the armor, you get the upgrade components, and then you upgrade it, so on and so forth. And when you get it all the way to perfected, it's got a new buff that we have not yet seen in game, where it decreases the damage you take, but it increases the damage you put out to a mob. And it looks like once you get all the way to perfected, it can be a fairly significant amount of extra damage output while mitigating the damage you're taking. It looks like it can be fairly significant. So this could be some very exciting armor. Now, there's a couple of catches. In order to get the armor, you get the default armor from, I guess, like an NPC trader, for lack of a better term, like a voucher trader, which is similar to like a token trader, only with vouchers. So you have to get the A.R.I.S or Hyperion daily vouchers, and you do that through daily missions and cave instances and bosses and stuff like that. That's my understanding of it. There's also a new set of blueprints that take a whole lot of different materials, some new, some old, mix them together. So once you've got enough vouchers, you get your default armor piece, you go grab those blueprints, which I believe you also buy with vouchers, you craft some of these new components, and then you have to, I believe, loot the adjusted, improved, modified, all that good stuff component, just like you would anywhere else. And then you combine all that together and you can upgrade your armor piece. Now, here's kind of the ticker to the whole thing. So it's a 2-for-1 trade-in system, and we've seen this before in many other areas of the game. Luckily, not every armor upgrade is like this, but unfortunately this one is, where you have to take 2 defaults and convert them into 1 adjusted. Then you have to take 2 adjusteds and convert it into 1 improved, and then 2 improves to 1 modified, then 2 modifieds to 1 augmented, and 2 augmenteds to 1 perfected. And the problem with that is you have to do that for each piece of armor. And there's 7 pieces of armor in an armor set. That means that extrapolated out, I think you need something like 256 default armor pieces to go all the way through to the perfected final 7-piece set. Something like that. Something ridiculous. It's in the 200s. I think it's like 256. So something like that. And also, because of the way the daily voucher system works via daily missions and caves drops and stuff like that, somebody worked out the math. It would take something like 3,600 days just to get enough vouchers to get enough armor pieces to be able to do that. So, do I think it's going to take nearly that long for this stuff to be discovered? No. We've already had mod pieces in game, at least one that I know of. I don't know if there's been any augmented pieces made yet, but what people are doing is people are selling either the vouchers or the armor pieces, or they're upgrading it, then selling it, because realistically, there's just no way to grind one thing in this game for 3,600 some odd days. Somebody did the math on the forum a while back. I forget exactly what it came out to, but I think it was over 3,600 days. Clearly, this is something that you're going to have to buy pieces as you collect pieces in order to try and get to a perfected set. Nobody is going to just start with nothing and grind their way to a perfected set of this Hyperion perfected armor. So it is a harder mission chain. It is one that is designed to be both something that you would grind and something that you would dump some money into. And there are high-level players that are going to do it. There's going to be somebody that's going to be the first person to get a fully perfected set of this new Hyperion armor, but they're going to have to spend quite a bit of money and quite a bit of time to do it. So those are kind of my initial thoughts on A.R.I.S. As the place gets more developed and as more stuff comes out and there's more content, more bugs worked out and stuff like that, I might actually go check it out in person. And like I said, I might end up having some goals there myself at some point. But for right now, it's just really not my cup of tea. And that's why I wanted to put this video out to get you guys some really good information you can use. So again, be sure and check out Blade of a Kyre here on YouTube and on Twitch. He's got some great information about A.R.I.S. if you're looking at it from a higher level player perspective. Somebody who's going to be able to go into the maintenance tunnels and clear them and do those robot instances and go into those caves. And if you want to check it out from more of a lower level, mid-level player, free-to-play, lower depot player version, check out Fatty's videos. Fatty's got a lot of good content looking at it through that lens. And again, you can find Fatty on YouTube at Fattius, Fatteus Thorson, Thorson, or you can find him on Twitch at Fatty Prophet, as in biblical prophet, Fatty Prophet. So big shout out to Blade, big shout out to Fatty. I really appreciate all the other Entropia players that are also putting out content, because sometimes there's a lot of stuff I just don't have time to cover, and there's a lot of stuff that other people can actually cover better than I can, and I'm not going to be ashamed to say that. I think that's great. I think that is what makes this game so amazing, is it does have a very loyal, very hardcore group of core supporters and players. Somebody asked me the other day, do you think this game's ever going away? I said no, because it's such a niche game, it will always have a hardcore, dedicated player base. I think we've got plenty of room to grow, but I'm not worried about anything happening to the game, because I know a lot of people out there love this game just as much as I do. So guys, if you want to help support us, obviously, you know, we're on YouTube also. That's where you're watching this video. Click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit that like button. Leave us a comment on the video. Let me know in the comments, have you guys been to A.R.I.S? What do you guys think about it? What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? Kind of give me the good, the bad, the ugly. Are you doing some other stuff in-game away from A.R.I.S? Have you decided to wait to check it out? Just let me know all that in the comments below. And of course, if you guys really want to help support us, check out the links in the description of the video. I'll have a link to the YouTube channels and Twitch channels I mentioned in the video, but I will also have links to cool ways that you can do stuff that will help support us. Like if you're going to be doing any online shopping, there's going to be a link that you can use to help support us while doing your online shopping. There might even be a couple of links in this video to cool things that I personally find interesting, that some of y'all might also find interesting as well, or things that might help increase your gameplay experience. So be sure and always check out the links in the descriptions of the videos. I'm going to leave it there for today. Till next time, sip, sip, smack, smack. Y'all know the rest. Take care, Stevies.